Good morning. Good Monday morning. Frosty, cold, wintry Monday morning. Winter's here in Kansas. Today I want to talk about your own personal atomic weapon, focus, the power of it. Um, when I was learning to ride motorcycle, the one thing that they kept pounding into your mind during the classes and all your training is you will go where you look. So look where you want to go. And that stuck with me as a truth for everything in life, not just riding motorcycle. One time, JR and I were riding to Arkansas down to Eureka Springs, and I'm like gawking around at the beautiful scenery because seriously, Arkansas, gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I'm riding, and all of a sudden I look down and I notice the white line getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to my tires. And I'm fixated on that white line going, no, 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 because on the other side of that white line wasn't very much grace period before you went down. And words hit my head. Look where you want to go. Condi, look where you want to go. So I just really, um, big and very pronounced, turned my head and started focusing on the center of the road, not the bottom of the mountain. And boom, my bike went over there, and I'm like, phew, close call. Oh my gosh. And that drove in that point. You will go where you look. So be very careful of what you're focusing on where you look. Same thing with shooting. Um, when you're shooting and you're lining your targets up, what you want to focus on are the sights, not the bad guy. And that's contrary to what you would think, because you would think that you would want to focus on the target. But the target is the evil. You focus on your good, which is your sight line up. And then when you focus on your sight line up, you put your sight line up, and the bad guy or the target is blurry in your vision. But what's very clear are your sights. And you line your sights up, and then you place them in the general area of the bad guy, center mass. And you're going to hit it every time. But if your sights aren't lined up, you're going to miss it almost every time. So the power of focus and what are we focusing on can be the difference between frustration and success. It can be the difference between making you a victor or a victim. All depends on your focus. What are you focused on? If you're focusing on, I can't have, or I don't have, then what you're going to do is you're going to build your belly and your mind full of disappointment, discouragement, and defeat before you even get started. Before you even taste the victory, you've already fed your mind defeat. But if you focus on the successes, no matter how big or small, I don't care, if you ate like a fool all week and you only gained a pound, don't be disgusted at the fact that you gained a pound. Be joyful at the fact you only gained 1 pound, and then put your focus back on what you're doing. If you are focused on nobody likes me, then you're not going to see all those people who do. If you're focused on I don't have, then you're not going to see all the good things you do have. We may have 2 eyes, folks, but they only look one direction at a time. So if you're if all you can see is the bad guy, then you're not focusing on the sights, because you can't focus at the same time at the two different directions. You just can't. It's not possible. So the power of focus, it's not so much the whole kumbaya power of positive thinking, because I believe in the power of positive thinking for your health and your well-being, for my health and well-being, but I don't believe that you can just sit there and go, I'm going to win the lottery this time and it's going to happen. But I do believe in the power of positive thought, in the fact that if you apply your thought process to the good and to the powerful positive, then that is what you're going to see. And when that is what you're going to see, that is what you're going to eventually do and focus on. And you will see victory and not constantly be the victim. I'm not a victim of anything anymore. I have victories. I have a lot of them. And I gain more and more every time. I'm not a victim of my obesity. There was a time when I felt like I was, because I couldn't walk and I couldn't. And that is one of the powers, one of the things that needs to change if you're going to change your focus is your words. But instead, I changed it to, I'm going to. No, I can't, but I'm going to. Now, as soon as I changed that, I wasn't able to get up and walk across the room very well. But I did figure out what I needed to do to make it happen. And May 22nd, 40 pounds ago, I started doing what I needed to do to make it happen. Yes, I've lost focus a couple of times because I am human. And you're going to lose focus a couple of times too, because you're human. Because the last thing we want is to build another obsession, because that's not healthy. You want to build choices, and you want to focus on those, and you want to focus on you. And that's not prideful, and that's not sinful, and that's not arrogant. That is 100% healthy. If you're focused on you at the cost of somebody else, then that's different. But if you're focusing on you to make yourself healthier, and you're focusing on you to make yourself stronger, and you're focusing on you to make yourself the better you can be, there's nothing sinful about that. There's nothing wrong about that. If you're trying to change other people to take care of you or to do your bidding, that's where you have your problems. That's the problem. That's where selfishness comes in. When you're focused on you over and above anybody else, and you think you're going to change somebody else, that's when the you thing becomes a problem. But when you focus on, I need to do this to be healthy, and what another person says about it is not, they don't get a vote in your health. And then you adjust your focus to meet your needs. Keep in mind, I said, you adjust your focus to meet your needs, then you become a victor. You're victorious over that, even before it happens. And that's the power of focus. You're focusing on you, you're focusing on your needs, and you're focusing on what you need to do to accomplish that. You're not focusing on the bad guy. You're not focusing on the fact that you're fat. You're not focusing on, I don't have any money. You're not focusing on, I don't have fill in the blank. You're not focusing on, I don't think they like me. I need to do something to make people like me. You're not focusing on that. Instead, you're going to focus on, oh, these people do love me. And to those who don't, because I can't control somebody else. And I'm going to focus on what I have. And I have love. And I have, if you have a warm house, you have a house. If you don't have a house, that would be the focus that you need to work on. And I'm not saying purchase, I'm saying shelter. And you focus on, I have breath in my body, so therefore I'm a step ahead. Then, I mean, even if it's that far, I had to go that far in my recliner before May, where I had to tell myself, Condi, you have breath. And that's more than all those people in the cemetery. Come on, you're already a step ahead of millions. Get up out of this chair. So your focus may be that small, but really it's huge. It's huge. Especially if you're in such a place that you have an exit plan. And you tell yourself, listen, I have breath, so I have more than even the people in the cemetery, all these people in the cemetery. It sounds silly, but it's very effective. You know, I have breath. I have a heartbeat. I'm still alive. Now let's focus on that. And let's focus on making that life now better. Identify the challenge, identify the opponent, identify the problem, but focus on the solution. Don't focus on your sights and look where you want to go. Because your focus, that's your atomic weapon. That's what's going to get you anything and everything you need and desire in life. Is it going to put you in a multi-million-dollar mansion? I don't know. Depends on how young you are, how hard you're willing to work, and where you're willing to go. There's a lot of stories about people that grew up in poverty and died in mansions. Hey, it can. I'm not ever saying nothing can happen. No possibilities. Man walked on the moon because someone dared to dream about it. Oh, that person was told it can't be done. But he set his focus on, what do we need to do to make it be done? We can do it. But where's your focus? When you're starting a new diet program, and that's basically what I'm big on, your health depends on the fuel you feed your body. For me, I do the ketogenic diet, and it's been a lifesaver for me, literally a lifesaver for me. It's helped me get victory over depression. It's helped me get victory over a lot of the pain in my body. I've dropped 40 pounds, and it is the easiest, best thing I have ever done for me. And there are people out there with success stories like that for almost every single eating plan there is. But the bottom line is, if you focus on it and you are successful at it, it's going to be a good plan for you. But when you're getting ready to enter into an eating plan, what's your focus? Where are your sights? Are you focused on the fact that I'll never be able to have cake and ice cream again? I'll never be able to have this. Or is your focus on a goal weight? When I get to this goal weight, if those are your focuses, then I'm just going to be upfront. It won't last, because your focus is not on any kind long term. It's not on the change. It's not on what you need to do. Put your focus on you and your health and how you're feeling. And you're going to see very quickly the improvements. And that's going to feed your momentum. And as your momentum gets fed, so will your successes. But it all starts with your focus. Another story, and then I'll end this, because I've noticed that the longer videos of 30 minutes or longer don't get as many views, but the shorter videos do. People don't like to hear me rambling for too long. Anyway, which I don't blame them. So when my children were in karate class, and the instructor held up a board for them to break it, kids would go up there and smack that board and dance around. They hurt their hands. Oh my gosh. And I was starting to feel sorry for them. But then when that instructor held up the board, he said, now wait. Reach through that board to the other side. Basically, put your focus on the other side of that board. And the children that would do it, they'd sit there and take their deep breaths, and they would change their focus, and they would change their mindset to reach through that board. Did it almost every time. When their focus was that board, they could not get through it for nothing. And it stung trying. But when they focused on the other side of that board, it was pretty much effortless. They went through that stupid board almost every time. Your focus is your atomic weapon. When the Bible says, my little preaching, when the Bible says your eyes are the windows to your soul, that doesn't necessarily mean your soul everyone can see into your soul. Yeah, people look in the eyes, they can tell someone's lying or not. But in reality, what if it's referring to what's looking out? What are you looking at? What are you focusing on? What are you seeing? See victory. Focus on that. Focus on being winning. Focus on what you have, not what you don't have. Focus on who loves you, not who doesn't. Focus on the positive, and that will feed your momentum. And that will feed your inner strength, and that will feed your victory, and you will win. All right? Love you. Have a great day. Stay warm. In Kansas today, it's a little difficult, but do it. Thank you. Have a great one. Bye-bye.